Welcome back. Dr. Suzanne here. So I am in Finsbury Circus in London, and there is unfortunately construction going on around me. But where I came here because around the corner is the Bedlam, the second mental institution. And it was called a lunacy. They called it lunatics. And unfortunately, this was also a spectacle where people could actually pay to go in and see people being chained up and mistreated, etc., in a mental institution. There were many reforms during this time. There were abuses. And what I want to talk about in particular here are the abuses towards women and the fact that women could be committed to an institution by their husband or by a family member. That there were rights over women. And one of the most interesting cases actually happened. This hospital closed in like the early 1816, the second Bedlam. I had already done a video in front of the first one, but it was even too much noise over it where the plaque is to record there. So I came to Finsbury Park around the corner from the hospital, or where the original site and plaque is. So what's interesting, her name was, I'm going to give you her name. She was a Baroness, Rosina Bulwer, B-U-L-W-E-R, Lytton, L-Y-T-T-O-N. And she was put into the mental institution, a private mental institution in the later 1800s by her husband, for her behavior. He didn't like her behavior. And a few weeks later, people rioted. I guess Victorian women were very distraught that they could just be put into a mental institution and sometimes not even come out, that she was out within a few weeks. And she ended up writing a book, a true story called A Blighted Life, published in 1880. That is, if you Google it, I Googled it, and you can find it online and even read it. A Blighted Life. She lost custody of her two children. And one of the reasons I want to bring this up is because we hear about this regularly happening. Jesus Christ. I mean, this noise, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully that'll be cut out, but it's just ridiculous. There's just major construction going on here. So she lost custody of her two children. And working on my book, Excavated London, I tie a lot of history into the present, and in terms of what has shaped women today and what is still hanging around today that was dealt with 150 to 200 years ago, or even before then. So I myself had a husband who, let's just say, tried to control me, was coercively controlling to the point that I felt crazy in my marriage, and would tell me at a very specific time, and I didn't realize this till some 30 years later, would tell me at a specific, right after a long fight, that there was something wrong with my brain. And when you hear that from a loved one over and over, and I already had anxiety attacks, I had been told by a doctor before I even married him that I should leave him, but I didn't have the skills to do that. So I married him, and a number of years into the marriage, I felt crazy. And he wanted me to go to therapy, and I did go to therapy. He wanted me to record my therapy sessions so he would know what was wrong with me, which I refused to do. But the point I want to make is still happening today. Mothers are losing their children in custody battles, just like Rosina lost her children in the 1800s. That's the point I want to make. Women are still being told they're crazy. I can't tell you how many women. I had dinner with a woman last night who said, yes, my husband, actually it was one of her partners. It wasn't a husband. One who was violent said, I think you need to go get some psychology treatment. So this is still happening today. That's the point I want to make. Of women losing their children. I don't hear of too many stories of women being put in institutions because of partners. I mean, we hear of stories, but the point I want to make is it's happening today. Thanks for watching. I welcome you to see my book when it comes out, Excavated London. Thank you.